1919. The war to end all wars had just ended, and the nation was looking forward to returning to peace and prosperity. On June 26, 1919, in the little village of Cipher, Bedford County, Pennsylvania, Charlotte and Harry Fry were celebrating a very happy occasion. It was the birth of a baby daughter. They named the baby Edith May Fry. Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of. The whole Fry family walked 4 miles to church every Sunday and rarely missed a service. Edith went to Plank Road Elementary School, a one-room schoolhouse, until the 4th grade. In 1928, Hopewell Township decided to consolidate its 10 one-room schools into one large consolidated school, which opened June 1929. Edith walked 1.5 miles each way to go to school. Edith was chosen to be on the demonstration team from the Home Economics Department of the Smith High School. They were giving the demonstration at the Pennsylvania Farm Show in January of 1935. On the way to Harrisburg, they were stranded in a snowstorm. A family along Route 30 near St. Thomas took them in and gave them shelter and food until the roads were plowed open. They made it to the farm show in time to give their demonstration, entitled The Versatile Potato. They won first prize. Edith graduated from the Robert P. Smith High School with the class of 1936. Edith is not on this picture because she was absent the day the picture was taken. In 1936, the village of Cipher had a very bad flood, and the Fry home was destroyed. Edith said the flood of '36 changed her life forever. Because the family home was destroyed, they had to find a new home, and that is when they moved to Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Shortly after moving to Mercersburg, Edith met a handsome young man named Edward Lowans. They fell in love and planned to get married. Edith promised her mother she would not get married until she was 18. Edith turned 18 on June the 26th, 1937, and she and Ed were married June the 27th, 1937. She waited all the way of one day, but a promise is a promise. Edith was not one to sit around and be idle. She was always busy working on doing community work or something. In 1936, she worked as a waitress at the Blue and White restaurant. In 1937, she worked at the Lieberwitz shirt factory and was there until 1942, when Ed was inducted into the United States Navy. Edith traveled with Ed while he was in the Navy, first to Indianapolis, Indiana, then Seattle, Washington, and San Francisco, California. Ed was discharged from the Navy in 1946, and they moved back to Mercersburg. After returning home from the Navy, Ed opened a small meat and grocery store. Edith helped to run the store until 1951, when she was expecting a visit from the stork. On May 9, 1951, David Lynn Lowans was born. Edith recalled that on her wedding day, her mother said to her, "You are getting married too young, and you will probably end up with a house full of kids." Edith sure proved that statement wrong, because David is their one and only child. In 1960, Edith took a position at the Mercersburg Academy and retired from there in 1984. Edith served as chairman of the Mercersburg Red Cross for 25 years and 15 years as president of the Needlework Guild. This picture shows Edith receiving her plaque for her years of service. On October 1st, 1952, Fulton Chapter number 519 was constituted under the direction of Myrtle M. Jackson and G. Stewart Mishner. 69 names were submitted as charter members. Among those 69 names was Edith M. Lowans. In 1956, Edith was elected Associate Conductress of Fulton Chapter number 519. In 1957, Edith served as conductress, and in 1958, she was elected Associate Matron. On May the 11th, 1959, Edith was installed as worthy matron of Fulton Chapter. In 1963, Edith had her first Grand Chapter appointment on the International Temple Fund, and in 1965 she served on the Arthritic and Rheumatism Foundation. In 1966, she was appointed District Deputy Grand Matron of District 14, and she is shown here with some of her district deputy buddies. In 1970, Edith was again appointed to the International Temple Fund and served from 1971 to 75 on the Homes Planning Committee. In 1976 and 77, Edith was appointed Grand Representative to Kentucky. In 1978, Edith filed for Associate Grand Conductress, but did not get elected that year. On this picture, Edith is shown with Betty Jane Lee at Fulton Chapter's installation in May of 1977. Betty was installing officer and Edith was installing marshal, and it just happened to be my installation. Edith was appointed Grand Martha to serve in Sister Carolyn Burkhart's Grand Family in 1981. The following pictures are from that year. In 1982, Edith was elected Associate Grand Conductress. This is the official portrait of the Grand Family of 1982. Sister Jean Sendell, worthy Grand Matron, and Brother Joseph Slamenda, worthy Grand Patron. Do you see spots before your eyes? Do not be alarmed. It's just Edith's Chalice Club Board in their official dresses. This is Edith and Yvonne Fair, the Chalice Club Board president, showing off the club handbags. In 1983, Edith was elected Grand Conductress. Sister Betty McAdam was worthy Grand Matron, and Brother Justin Walsh, worthy Grand Patron. The following pictures were taken in 1983. The Grand Conductress Dinner was held on June the 26th, 1984. It was Edith's 65th birthday. In 1984, Edith was elected Associate Grand Matron. Sister Betty Hamill was Worthy Grand Matron, and Brother William Gensel was Worthy Grand Patron, and this is their official portrait. In 1984, when Edith was Associate Grand Matron, one of her club board parties was called Edith's Quilting Party and was held at the York Fairgrounds. All good girls get to talk to Santa Claus. Edith wearing her special dress at General Grand Chapter in Atlanta, Georgia in 1988. There's no place like home, even in a blizzard. Celebrating 50 happy years at a picnic held at Grove's Cabin in 1987. We are shaped and we are fashioned by the people that we know, and from each we borrow something, taking it where we may go. Often there is no returning, for our journeys lead us on, lending to each new encounter bits of others we have known. Remember that picture of the class of 36? Well, here it is 60 years later in 1996. And guess what? This time, Edith is in the picture. And, as Edith always says, God loves you, and so do I.